Few seasons in F1 can match 2022 for historical significance, the most wide-ranging technical rule change in decades, happening in the midst of a championship trying to recover perhaps its greatest controversy ever, with the sport hitting new, previously unimaginable heights of popularity. You'd think that all this would provide the brilliant dramatic fodder to hit Netflix series Drive to Survive, which helped transform the championship's image and turn many of its protagonists into semi-film stars. However, as is so often the case with retelling the tales of sports, things aren't that quite simple. While everyone has a short view back to the past, many complain F1's exciting on-track action isn't portrayed in the storytelling, but for the most part it's the stuff on track which works best on screen through DTS doesn't refer to this recipe for success much as Season 5. Back in Season 3, Haas's Roman Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen might have been taking chunks out of each other, but it was the Gunstein reaction to this which made it so entertaining. A more calm and collected reading to such scenarios, e.g. someone like Aston Martin team principal Mike Grach, wouldn't have made for great watching. Add in further incidents in Haas's history like the Rich Energy debacle or Nikita Mazepin kicking off, and you have TV gold, which is what DTS 5 severely lacks for the most part, only showing the best version of itself for a few episodes. Haas steps up once again, and its presentation, Mick Schumacher struggled to keep his seat. The son of legend Michael makes heavy work at keeping up with teammate Magnussen, and Sue finds himself under pressure. He's at the back of the grid for the early season Azerbaijan GP, and having suffered 2 heavy crashes already, the young German is tentative about pushing the car again, but it's slowest of all. When Schumacher queries his brake temperature, Steiner says he's going so fucking slow he doesn't need the brakes, while unsympathetic teammate Gene Haas describes him as occupying dead man walking territory. Magnussen can be heard suggesting driver alternatives behind the scenes, exactly the kind of thing which makes DTS watchable at its best. The following 2 episodes focus on the Vettel, Alonso, Ricciardo, Piastri movements, which made for delicious viewing, helped by respective Alpine and McLaren bosses Otmar Zafno and Zach Brown having no love lost between them. Netflix catches Alonso promising to sign an Alpine contract to Zafno, but the latter knows something is up. The team goes through possibly the most awkward birthday celebration for the Spaniard in GP history before the Alpine boss shares his suspicions at the race start. The Alonso-Aston lineup was of course soon confirmed as all-out warfare then unfolds with Oscar Piastri. It's essential viewing for even the mildest sports fans. Elsewhere, the series could be argued as poor though. With dramatic music feeling distinctly dull, uninspiring and cheesy. Watching it live is more entertaining, so why bother with Netflix? You feel that Ferrari's grudge implosion and certainly Red Bull's cost cut breach aren't covered in enough depth. Whilst it may be a bit much to expect Netflix cameras to follow around FIA inspectors as they look under every Milton Keynes cast on in search of road carbon fibre washers and gone mysteriously AWOL from the Spurs drawers, it isn't unreasonable to ask for a bit more than Adrian Newey said. I'm just so disappointed face in the Red Bull Singapore Grand Prix hospitality area at the end of all of this. Horner claiming that Brown's accusation of Red Bull cheating would affect his own staff's mental health, somewhat conveniently forgetting he points a similar finger at Mercedes over its 2021 rear wing, once again brings mirth. The Red Bull boy who cried wolf look of is hilarious throughout the episode concerned, but you get the feeling after 5 seasons it's getting a bit tired. It's part of the inherent shallow nature that pervades much of DTS. Other potential areas little to no look in. The Abu Dhabi crisis is mentioned in passing but no more. Why not track down ex-race director Michael Massey, who's been banished to Aussie V8 Supercars, and interview about where it went wrong, his own grievances, and a few kangaroos bounce around in the background. There's also the slightly pressing issue of the missile attack in Jeddah, only a short distance from the Saudi GP when it was happening. And the unprecedented driver meeting on it that lasted 4 hours. In a word about this, not a chance. This is all happening in the concept series being released just a few weeks from the next Saudi race. In the past, Drive to Survive has done end and era moments quite well, looking how the past is shaping the here and now. The death of Niki Lauda, a great example. It's disappointing then that almost no time was given to Sebastian Vettel's retirement, only mentioned the initial movement which triggers the Piastri saga. Maybe Seb's saving his own bucks for his mega production, who knows. The lack of diversity here is again a letdown, with only Will Buxton and Jenny Gal featuring. Whilst the F1 for Kids explainers are fair enough in a light, the series attempts to bring in new fans. When a car pits, the wheels are changed, etc., it could do at least a favour to some of those who have a bit more knowledge, imposing a bit more insight via talking heads who actually races or even have something to say. Karun Hanjok, Naomi Skiff, Anthony Davidson could be examples, just from Sky. F1 wants to make itself look shiny and nice with a bit of more of a mild paddock intrigue thrown in, and it's incredibly shallow for that. Aside from a few episodes episodes. Most of season 5 spends its time being bogged down with full of neutrals, and it never really got going. Essential for a very bland retelling of the season, largely a waste of money in Ultra HD. Season 5 perhaps sums up DTS better as a whole in its best and its worst. At its strongest, probably no other sports documentary you should be watching. In its weak moments, you might as well just tune off and just watch the real thing only. Anyway guys, that's it for video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, leave thoughts, comments down below. Follow us to show for daily F1 news and subscribe to the channel. You can be appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.